This installment of my 5 P's of Decorative Design video series is going to be proportion, and of all the P's, this one is a doozy. Now before I talk about proportion, I have to ask, did you watch the introduction video first? If you haven't, you're doing it wrong. There's a link to that video around here somewhere. Go watch that, then watch this. Got it? Okay, moving on. First things first, the overall measurements of your design need to be determined. I gave some tips for how to do that in the introduction video. Then it's time to divvy up the piece into its constituent sections. I wanted to fill a space between 2 wall sconces with a mirror, a cabinet for keys and sunglasses along one side, and perhaps a couple of small drawers for small items. Rather than taking up the space between the sconces in its entirety, effectively crowding them, and ending up with an odd width measurement, I scaled the overall width of the piece back to the nearest round number of 80 centimeters. Starting with a number like 80 centimeters instead of 83.3 or something like that would dramatically simplify future decisions about the proportions of other parts of the design, like, for instance, how large the cabinet that houses the keys and sunglasses should be. Well, 20 centimeters is plenty of room for those items and is a tidy 1/4 of the overall width of the piece, leaving the other 3/4 of the overall width to become the mirror at about 60 centimeters square. What about these cute little drawers here? It made sense to extend the bottom of the cabinet to house the drawers so that they wouldn't be so high up the wall you couldn't see into them. But how much extension? The diminutive stature of the drawers meant that it wouldn't be practical to make them very deep, so I decided on 10 centimeters. 10 centimeters also happens to be equal to the depth of the cabinet and makes the overall height of the cabinet 1/7 taller than the adjacent mirror. Are you noticing a theme yet? Let's recap. The cabinet is 1/3 the width of the mirror, 1/4 the width of the overall piece, 1/7 taller than the mirror, and half as deep as it is wide. In other words, everything is in simple whole number proportions to everything else as much as possible. Let's keep it going. The copper discs that run up the center line of the cabinet are graduated in equal measure from one to the next. The drawers are graduated in sevenths, with the upper drawer being 3/7 of the opening and the lower one 4/7 of the opening. The simple act of hewing to whole number proportions made decisions about the sizing of everything in the design much easier than standing back and saying, I think that looks right. Does that look right? This whole number ratio approach is nothing new. In fact, it's really, really old. The proportional values of everything from Greek temples to federal-style furniture were built on whole number ratios. The end result is intuited by us, the casual observers, to be well-proportioned, or harmonious, in large part because whole number proportions are easier for our brains to process, even if we don't realize that's what our brains are doing. Brains. Seems like they're always up to something. Am I right? Sneaky, sneaky brains. Speaking of whole number ratios, George Walker and Jim Tolpin have helped repopularize this and the use of other ancient design principles like artisan geometry in an excellent series of books put out by Lost Art Press. I can easily recommend them to anyone interested in design. Their writings can even show how one can throw out standards of measure like metric or imperial altogether and accomplish the same ends with a simple pair of dividers. A boon and a revelation to the arithmetically challenged. Now in the introduction video in this series, I made the claim that you could walk into any decorative arts museum and see these principles in action. And when it comes to proportion, you don't even need to do that. You can just get a book that has good pictures of furniture in it and check them out. So this book is by Judith Miller. It's called Furniture. It's a huge compendium of every furniture style you can imagine from the Egyptian times on up with tons of really pretty pictures. And we're going to pop this open and take a look here. As long as you have what we call a front elevation of a given piece, you can take measurements off of it. So this here is a cabinet on a stand. It's very ornate. This was a 17th century piece made for the Grand Duchess of Tuscany. There's a lot going on here, but if it's a straight-on shot or front view of the furniture piece, you can get measurements off of it. Now this may or may not be straight on, so all of our measurements here are going to be approximate, but you'll still get the idea. You can take a pair of dividers, mess around with the piece, and in a lot of cases with these older pieces you'll see that they boil down to whole number proportions. So this one here is 2 units that way, and 1, 2, 3, 4 units that way. And then the uppercase, with the same measurement on the dividers, is about 1 by 2. So if you double 1 by 2, what do you get? You get 2 by 4. So this is considered a very well proportioned piece, and that's why. Let's do another one. Here is a Spanish Bargueño desk, which is near and dear to my heart because I'm currently building my contemporary take on a Bargueño desk, albeit with a different base. This one has a cabinet base. The one I'm building has a base called a Pt.2, which is a trestle base, but I digress. This has a simple whole number ratio for its uppercase as well, with a divider set like this. We have 1, 2, 3 units tall by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units wide. Simple 3 by 5 ratio. Here is a late federal piece from the US of A. It's a bow front chest of drawers circa 1810. And this one's instructive because they chose not to do their whole number ratios from outside to outside for the width of the case, but rather the inside of the drawer opening. And I suspect this is because these drawers are actually inset drawers. It's not an overlay drawer front. And not only that, but these drawers have kind of a veneer border highlighting the edge of the drawer. So this is what draws your eye here, and this is what they use for their width measurements. So this one you can see is about 2 units high, right there. And the inside of the drawer opening is 1, 2, 3. So that's kind of instructive that they chose to go to the inside of the drawer opening here as opposed to the outside of the case. Either one works. It depends upon what part of the piece draws your eye. Okay, here's one more. So here's a bureau bookcase from England circa 1720, and it's a very fancy schmancy piece, but it still boils down to whole number proportions. You'll see that the lower case is 1 unit by 2 units. Very simple. But here's a little bonus thing for proportion. What if I take the measurement of this upper drawer face plus the horizontal drawer divider below it and move that down to the next drawer front? You'll see that it is the height of this drawer front plus the drawer divider below it plus one more drawer divider, the height of one more drawer divider. And if I do that again, move this down to the next drawer, you'll see that it is the height of this drawer front plus this drawer divider plus 2 more drawer dividers. And that's how you graduate drawers. Or just a quick introduction to it. I'll do a video that goes a little bit more into drawer dividers and how to graduate them like that some other time. I think that would be fun. But the idea here is that somewhere along the way, this idea of whole number proportions got lost. When you go into decorative arts museums, the furniture you see there is almost always held up as being well proportioned. And as you go to more and more modern furniture, that seems to be less and less the case. But not anymore. If you read George Walker and Jim Tolpin's books and you watch this video, your stuff, your furniture designs, are going to be very well proportioned. To make a long story short, if you want your design to be well proportioned, let practical things like fitting into a certain space or ergonomics or storage capacity help you determine the overall dimensions first. From then on, try your best to make any divisions of the design a whole number proportion to either its overall dimension or the dimension of some other part of the design. Now on occasion you'll find yourself wondering if some part of the design should be 1/6 or 1/7 the measurement of something else. That'll happen, but don't fret too much. You already did the right thing by narrowing it down to 2 adjacent whole number ratios, so chances are there isn't really a wrong answer there. Use whatever aid you need to visualize your 2 options, whether it be a drawing, a cardboard mock-up, or just hold a ruler up to the piece and eyeball it. Pick whichever one is the most visually pleasing to you. If you're watching this video, you've thought about furniture design enough that your gut instinct won't likely lead you astray at this point. Allow me to finish this installment of the 5 P's of Decorative Design series with an odd use of metaphor. Let's pretend you're a horse. Proportion, or more specifically whole number proportion, has led you to water. Give yourself permission to take a drink. Cheers! Ah, yeah. Now, if you like what you saw here, please hit like and subscribe. It would help me out a lot. Also, hit the little bell icon if you want to be notified whenever I release a new video. And if you didn't like what you saw here, keep it to yourself, pal. Or check out one of my other videos. You might like one of those. Thank you for watching.